How did a movie soundtrack win the Pulitzer, and why hasn't it happened again? The soundtrack's composer, Virgil Thomson, was born in 1896. He showed promise as a composer as early as 13 years of age. He went to study at Harvard from 1919 to 1923. After that, he went to study with Chalmers Clifton at Columbia in New York City until 1925. He received a fellowship from Juilliard in 1925 to go to France, where he studied in Paris. At this point, he was heavily inspired by Satie's piano music and wanted to study directly with him. He also studied with several members of Les Six, Gertrude Stein, and Nadia Boulanger. All of these individuals guided him to develop his unique voice and to embrace his heritage. He finally returned to the United States in 1940 in the midst of World War II. At this point in his life, he was really interested in ethnomusicology in the same way that Bela Bartok was into ethnomusicology. The goal was to incorporate melodies and transform them into musical masterpieces. Aided by his development of harmony in France, he began working on a variety of projects. He was no stranger to documentary films, doing his first few in Paris. Interestingly, in 1938, he worked on a documentary for the U.S. government's Farm Security Administration called The River. Evett Robert reviewed the music and said, "Delightful as background music, the piece is an awful bore when you try to give it your full attention." He kept improving his skills and incorporating folk tunes until he hit it big. In 1949, he won the Pulitzer Prize for music with a movie soundtrack. This documentary-style film received much attention. Louisiana Story won the National Board of Review USA Top 10 Films and Venice Film Festival International Award in 1948. In 1949, it also won the BAFTA Film Award for Best Documentary in 1949. It was additionally nominated for an Oscar for Best Writing in 1949. To celebrate its legacy as an influence on the development of the documentary, it was selected as a National Film Preservation Board winner in 1994. At the time of its release, documentaries were less about objective facts. This film follows a Cajun family as an oil company pays them to drill for oil on their land. It shows the temporary impact on the wildlife in the area, but the oil company cleans everything up, hiding the true environmental impact. The part that makes the documentary so good is the incorporation of folk tunes into the soundtrack. Using music from the area in addition to locally sourced actors led to an incredibly authentic experience of what life in the swamps of Louisiana was like. While the movie and soundtrack are solid, there are some reasons for why the Pulitzer Prize was awarded. The Pulitzer was adjudicated by faculty at Columbia University. The chair of the music award was Chalmers Clifton for the first 18 years. In the first decade or so, the award was very political. Clifton sought to give the award to composers he thought were deserving of the award. The composition still had to be of sufficient quality. However, the award was more so given because of composer merit rather than because the composition was one of the best written in the previous year. In my opinion, 1949 is one of those years that showcases this the most. Don't get me wrong, the music is still of high quality, cohesive, and fits the film perfectly. Two other compositions from 1948 stand out as contenders for the Pulitzer Prize. These are Roy Harris's Kentucky Spring and the Pulitzer Prize finalist for 1949, Red Pony Suite by Aaron Copland. Each of these could have equally won. Both compositions were composed by prominent American composers who were well respected and known by Chalmers Clifton. However, Aaron Copland won in 1945, and Roy Harris was teaching in California by the time that the award started in 1943. I believe that this knocked both contenders to the side, allowing Louisiana Story to win the Pulitzer Prize. I think that the overall attitude toward the award changed over the following few years. The award slowly began to be awarded for high-quality compositions like symphonies and operas. Movie soundtracks were viewed as a lesser art, especially since they did not follow the academic music trends throughout the 50s and 60s. Movie soundtracks typically were in the post-romantic style of the interwar period, making them feel out of touch with academic music post-1950. Virgil Thomson still is a great composer. He won lots of awards outside of his early career. He received 3 fellowships in the 1960s, a Guggenheim Fellowship in 1960, and 2 Edward MacDowell Fellowships in 1963 and 1966. He also received a gold medal for music from the American Academy of Arts and Letters in 1966 and the Brandeis Award in 1968. In 1977, he was awarded the Edward MacDowell Medal for outstanding contributions to American culture.
Additionally, he was given the Kennedy Center Honors in 1983.
Finally, 1 year before his death, Ronald Reagan personally handed him a National Medal of Arts in 1988. You can check out the recording to Louisiana Story for yourself by visiting my website in the description. If you want to see more from my Pulitzer Spotlight series, like and subscribe for weekly content.